Hello everyone, welcome to something new, something different we're going to do on the channel. I'm going to be playing Avowed. I'm going to kind of try and narrate through some of the story sections to make the video a little bit shorter, but still kind of give you guys the idea of what's going on. This isn't going to be a full playthrough. If you want to see a full playthrough, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that. This is going to kind of just be an introduction to Avowed. Let you guys know some of my thoughts on it. Let you guys know if I like it, if I recommend it. And leave me some feedback if this is something you'd like to see on the channel. Very different than anything I've done, very different than Tarkov. Kind of dipping my toes in the water of doing different stuff. We're super close to 50 subs on YouTube. If I hit 50 subs, I think I want to do like a Dark Souls playthrough where there's some kind of punishment for every death, like 5 push-ups or something. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I could stream that on Twitch, post the videos here on YouTube. So let me know. And if you guys want to like, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow as a YouTube channel. This is the second attempt I've made at recording this. The first recording I just wasn't really happy with. My computer's not super great. So, Starforge, if you want to sponsor an up-and-coming YouTuber, that's what I call myself, be super generous with 30-something subscribers, up-and-coming. But anyway, I had a blast with this game, and if I kind of seem like I'm blowing through it because I've played through the tutorial 3 times, it's because I have. Anyway, guys, we'll hop right into it. I'll throw it over to past me, and let's play some Avowed. Check, check, check. What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to film an intro explaining a little bit more about what I'm going to do, but we are playing Avowed. I'm going to go through kind of the tutorial area and then some gameplay for the other areas and kind of share some of my general thoughts. If I think it's fun, if I think it's worth picking up with Game Pass, without Game Pass, Steam, whatever option you want to do. So I've already played. I haven't beaten the game, but I've probably put a solid 10, 15 hours into it. Enough where I think I have a good idea and a good impression. And I thought it was something different for the channel, so I was curious, I wanted to see what you guys thought of it, something besides Tarkov. So I'm going to do a new game, and then we're going to get these introductory sequences. And what I'm going to do for these is I'm going to skip over them for the sake of the video, and then kind of just explain what they're talking about.
Watched over by the gods.
I am going to skip this one. So the character creation screen. This is, I think, the biggest disappointment that I've had by the game so far. You get these interesting things with the, they call them the godlike traits. So we already explained what the godlike is, but, we have these special features. But if you've played the game, seen the game at all, you know that there are a bunch of really interesting, races and characters that exist in this game. But once we get to the character selection screen or character creation, our options are a human with pointy ears, or a human with pointy ears. I'm pretty sure they're elves, but it was really disappointing to me to go in here, create my character, and then basically, the joke is, doesn't matter, I'm always going to make a human fighter. Well, you don't really have any choice except to make a human fighter. Literally, the difference is that they have pointy ears, and that's your different race that you can play as in the game. We'll see super early on, once we start playing, there's other interesting characters that would have been fun to play as. I'm not going to spend much time customizing my character. This is super typical 2025. Everybody has a good character customizer, character creator. I'm sure you can make all sorts of ridiculous characters and features, and you do get to choose a couple interesting things. So the godlike feature, you can make them really extreme. You can also hide them so that you can't see them. So if you just kind of want to look more like a regular guy, that's an option. The other thing is going to be your background. So there is no class in Avowed. It's done similar to, say Skyrim, where you can use any selection of light, heavy, medium armor, any selection of weapons. But what the background is going to do is just determine some of your starting weapons and starting equipment. I'm going to go War Hero. That should start me out with a spear and then find me some other melee weapons pretty early on. And then you also get your attribute points, which this is something the game does a really good job of, is explaining exactly what it is that it's affecting with these level up points. So excellent job on that. And this video here is just showing kind of a general idea of this dream scourge, which is what we've been sent to investigate and to stop. So it's going to show these cute little fuzzy creatures that we love and get attached to, and then it's going to show the dream scourge corrupting them, kind of giving us some stake as we head into our tutorial. We are now awakening from our shipwreck, and it takes us right into the tutorial island. So this is what I'm talking about. Immediately, we see Garrick, this really interesting little guy. Like, why couldn't we play as one of these fuzzy blue guys? Just definitely disappointed in this.
Thank the gods I pulled you up. I wasn't about to... At least the journey's not completely lost. The name's Garrick, sir. Fort Northreach. I've been here before. Wish I could... I sort of... It was canon. It makes no sense. That's what I'm... In the meantime, as long as... Then I know the place to... Adia's got... Once we make it... I hate to say it. We need supplies. And if our troops have been captured... Thank you. Those boards up there... Take that spear. Oh good. At least some supplies have...
The game gives you loadouts. I'll be able to show this more clearly once we get other weapons. But you can press... It's left alt on the keyboard. I think it's Y on the controller to swap between these loadouts. Hang on, I opened something I should... You can press alt to alternate between these loadouts. So if you want to, have a range and a primary or a range and a melee loadout or whatever it is, you get that option. The other thing we're introduced to is the armor. So the game has a light, heavy, and medium armor system. And that armor is going to have a percentage damage reduction. The heavier the armor, the higher that's going to be. It's also going to have a flat numeric value for damage reduction. And then, depending on the weight, you're going to lose stamina and essence. And then there's perks as you level up that can reduce the amount of stamina and essence that you lose through your armor. The other things that we're given are clothing or accessories. And there is no light, medium, or heavy for these. It's just you get a glove slot, a boot slot, a trinket or necklace, and a couple rings. And then those are just going to be like miscellaneous bonuses that get added to your character. So really interesting systems with that.
Survive. You look like a dab hand with that. I don't understand. Why would they fire on us? They're own people.
Got that in the wrong hand.
No use wondering. We've got to make sure our troops are safe.
Now you also run into the food when you're playing the game. And so the food, you can eat it immediately as a health or essence regeneration if you're outside of combat. The other thing you can do is, if you open your consumables option. You can eat food to restore health or food to restore essence as long as you're outside of combat. The food will not restore health or essence outside of while you're in. The food will not restore health or essence as long as you're in combat. So you're gonna have to rely on your stash of health and essence potions to accomplish that. Game does a really good job at hiding things, so it makes it feel worth it to do a little bit of exploring. And I'll show you guys in a second. There will be some areas we can run into chests. Just get a little bit of extra loot on your adventures. Alright, here we're gonna get our first taste of combat. Combat's Elder Scrolls-esque. It feels a little bit weightier, and then you're given this directional dodge. You can do it backwards and to either side. So that adds an element that's not present in Elder Scrolls games. I only compare it to Elder Scrolls because, you know, that's kind of the definitive first-person RPG. So it's hard not to compare it to something like Skyrim. I grew up on Morrowind and Oblivion, so it feels natural to compare it to those. You know,
Come on, the fort's up
people are
ahead.
arguing whether it's a spiritual successor or not, but you can't help it.
There's no healer about.
I always forget about that, but there are traps in the game. You are able to
How many
disarm
of these
them
damn things
if you're
are
paying
there?
attention, which obviously I wasn't.
Springberries, good. Those should rally us.
There's another effect on that food that allows it to cure any like poisons or burns. Since you can have that get accumulated as well, especially in like the second zone, poison will be a big thing that you run into. You can dual wield, which pretty greatly increases the speed of your attacks and also your stamina, which was something that's present that I didn't mention. You do have the stamina bar that managing it's usually not a big issue, which is something to keep in mind in combat. So we're kind of given a little taste.
Gods.
They do a good
It's a
job of making
bloodbath.
it where you, like, you can
They've torn
obviously
the place
see
apart from the
there's a
inside.
chest and there's some other
Did
stuff
they?
back there.
Were they
So they
fighting
do a
each
good
other?
job making
Envoy, I
it so
don't like
you
this.
know there's some kind of secret that you need to uncover in this area. Like I said, I've played this before, so I know how to get back there.
I remember some of the soldiers praying around that
Assuming I
pillar.
can remember.
Hope it helped their souls find the beyond.
We rise from slumber. Is it you?
These used to be nice quarters.
duh. I found the key on the guard. What have I been looking for? I was thinking of a different area. Yeah. Okay, easy. Here we got our other armor. So you can see switching to medium armor gives us a significantly higher percentage of damage reduction, and then a higher flat percentage, but also obviously less stamina and less at maximum essence that we're going to have access to. You also get this transmogrification option, which you can use whenever you want. So if you like the stats but hate the look of your armor, then they made it super easy to change that.
Gods, is this what they were like? Guard 'em! Hit it with everything you've got!
So there, that yellow bar, once that's filled up, it's their stun meter. And then you can do a special attack that's higher damage. And then different weapons will do more or less stun damage. That's an extra stat you can look at and keep in mind. So not all one-handed weapons are the same. There's like maces, axes, swords, spears, daggers, and they'll do a different percentage of stun damage, base damage, stamina drain, attack speed, basic standard stuff for
Thought I
fantasy
had your
games.
back. Guess you've got mine.
Outside of combat, you just find this food on your mini-map and go ahead and eat it. Gives you a really quick way to restore everything back up to full.
Surely there's a way to clear those brambles.
Is someone there? Over here! Help! Stay.
Easy.
You mean I touched your soul?
That's right.
Never seen one of you. I always heard folks. Oh, you think you're
That's the Imperial...
the Imperial? Funny you survived. That'd be if Adir's had their.
'Cause the place...
Did you not think like I have to smuggle? Just. I'm trying.
Paradisans on...
At least we don't go mad and slaughter each other. They did the day I came, and then the killing started. I told you when the storm came, that soldier in here tried to strangle me. He still did.
I've got a bat. What if she murdered that...
Wait, look, I left my.
envoy? Her stories... What if she...
For fuck's. Oh, gods. That's the. It's in the warden's room. You can find a way.
If we live to...
If you listen to that, if you have headphones in, it's on the right side. They did add a sound anytime there's like a lootable container. So at least you'll know, maybe not exactly where it is, but you'll have an idea of where to look. So now there's this right here. So we can take advantage of our other loadout. Shoot that, burn the thorns. And we can go collect this key for the mission. There's that. There's the chest that we were hearing.
At least you got around to trusting me eventually.
We get our first uses of the bow in combat. that diamond is the critical weak point, which will cause your bow to automatically do a critical hit if it misses. I can't quite hit it. Move his head every time he throws a spear. Not an impressive amount of weak point hits, but we got the job done.
Don't massacre each other. They just don't. Something caused this.
If there's anything to loot down here. And swim in the game. There we go. That's what we were looking for. Yeah, there's a lot of water in the game, so swimming does come in handy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned it before, but the game does look really nice. Obviously not these like photo-realistic graphics that some people seem to be expecting in modern games now.
Can't fathom.
But it's really, like, I think they did a
Bastards when
really
they
good
came here.
job with the
All it
environment.
took was time.
We're Adherents. We respect each other. We're raised to follow the rules.
What's the matter? Upset your kin are no better than anyone else.
Now we're introduced to
Stay in
stealth
the tall
mechanics.
grass.
So this is our first, what they call godlike powers, which are
Did
things
your
that you
God
have
give you that power too?
access to
More
because of
coming.
your
Stay down and don't.
first relationship to the gods, I guess. And that's the first one we get. Yeah, they come in pretty useful in and outside of combat. On the mini-map, it'll mark with an X if any of the bodies are lootable. No X there, so we know that none of them are lootable. We've gotten our first level up, so we have our godlike power list here. Then we have our wizard tree, our ranger tree, and our fighter tree too. Full of passive and active abilities that we can use, kind of depending on how we want to do our playstyle. So for now, we'll just take charge for the fighter, and we'll move on. I forgot about the attribute point. You also get an extra attribute point. Add in, boost whatever stat. Again, depending on your chosen playstyle. They made it fairly fairly inexpensive to reallocate those attribute points as well.
Hope there's a fire spell in there.
Here's something I thought they did a really good job on in the game, is the magic
Did they
system.
quick work of the brambles?
So you hold this grimoire in your offhand, and you can choose one of
worth a
4
try.
spells. Different grimoires have different spells.
Course you didn't bring a
There's
flint.
a decent variety of them,
Reverence for
but if you decide that you want to use spells without having to carry the grimoire, you look at our wizard tree. Once you've found the grimoire, you can pick any of the spells from it and learn them. Having a grimoire does things like reduce the cooldown and the ability costs, but this is an option if you decide that you really like a spell from a grimoire, but you want to move on past having to hold the grimoire, or whatever your reasoning. That's just another way that you can
Got
build
the
your
high ground.
character.
How should we do this?
The game is fairly easy. I mean, this is the standard difficulty. I'm sure it gets more difficult if you bump it up, but I'm not a fan of just creating better bullet sponges out of enemies. That, you know, if it's challenging, then it's challenging, but adding just 5 times as much health and then them doing 5 times as much damage to me, I don't think is a fun way to play. Keep forgetting to dodge weapons. There's no X. I know none of them are lootable. Grab this food here. Loot whatever's in this
I've seen
cave.
ruins like these. Wonder what they are. Maybe
I don't
nobody
remember.
knows.
Paradisans called them godless. Some kind of people who came here long ago.
They're not.
Here's something lootable. I think it's below us. Yeah. It's. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of somewhere else.
I tried to tell them. Why wouldn't they?
Here we're
You
introduced
can't
to our
kill
first
me.
boss of the game.
No one
So this
can
is
kill
why
me.
the
I'll
lady
swim
was
across
scared
the sea.
earlier when she saw our godlike
I knew it.
features, because they kind of resemble.
I'm no egg. Oh. Stead.
Your waist.
Shoot. They
He can bet.
He couldn't.
Trisp. Scars and
Envoy. Now you've done it.
You're gonna regret this.
Interrupted. We can't get that spell off. Your stamina regenerates while you're doing those stun attacks. It's really nice. Good way to keep it yourself. And easy fight.
Probably some
Quest item,
noble who bought his
and then
commission.
another type of weapon
Now
is
look at
introduced. Now this is
can't
where,
believe I'm
depending on
saying this,
which
At least he's not
background
suffering.
it is, you'd find different weapons as you go throughout this island. Grab a little bit of extra loot before we get out of here. Yep. In case you were wondering, there is fall damage in the game.
Closer, we twine. You, we wait.
Envoy. A voice?
Now you're.
No. When you put it that way, I've been round Ardra my whole.
I don't think.
That's so. Maybe the.
The boat's just up ahead.
Gods, I hope you're telling the truth.
This way.
Boat!
Thank the god.
There! In the distance! So, the.
My name's Alora. Thanks.
Look, if you have.
I'd heard rumors about. I thought they were just that.
I don't know how.
Will you get?
Aye. Never thought I'd be glad to sail here with a
Yeah,
smuggler.
and this is where we say goodbye
If
to
anyone
our
asks,
tutorial
you never met
island
me.
companions. Don't worry, we're fairly
That's
quickly
your final
introduced to
Hey,
one of our
turn around
first
and sail back to
companions.
wherever you can.
Wait.
nah.
Forgive me. Can we? Unlike they told me you. Ooh, on second thought,
No.
no doubt you've come for the Adiran ambassador. Well, there's some kind of blight. Nature.
Leaderless keeps things.
Well, he's.
Parodies does most people.
So we made up some.
I'm sorry.
Nonsense.
Just.
Where did you say?
They traveled northward.
You need to find the ambassador, and I need. I did my time on the... I'm good.
Kai, before... Remember, you make sure he comes back alive.
Better yours than mine.
I admire...
Right behind. We've got a...
So this is our first companion. He gets an ability. So earlier when we used our bow to drop fire, or when we had to use our spell to create fire, we can activate his ability, which he'll burn things for us. So there are a few companions in the game. You only get to take 2 with you at a time, and then they can interact with the environment in different ways. So depending on which ones kind of you've built your character to be able to do, whether it's like electricity or fire, then you might want to take a companion with you that can get through the other environmental hazards.
I'll bet you're glad to be on dry land.
This is our fast travel point.
Come
So
on,
these, you just
let's get you
walk
some
near
fresh
them
air.
and they activate.
Or
And from
groom
that
them,
point, you can open your map and fast travel to them.
And left these beacons all over the island.
City's getting crowded.
Good for finding your way around.
Please, how hard is it? I can't believe... How hard... Something... A band of... Then take my house key. Gods know I come back when you... I'm sorry, but... Thank you.
I've come in search of lost treasure.
Then we can decide. I said, first side quests is kind of on the way.
Treasures. Have you
A little bit out of the way, but not a big deal. So we can go ahead and mark that. And go do it over there. This guy's quests is one that'll come up later in the game. Not something I'm going to cover in this video. But we'll pick it up anyway.
He must. His name. I sent. Bandits.
You know,
It's
3.
if you when if you find your
Well, that's our marching
This
orders
is
then.
a campsite point, so you can use these to set up a camp. In camp, you can talk to your companions. You can you can modify the enchantments of what are called unique items, which we're gonna run into some of those once we do our main story quest. So I can kind of explain those. You can upgrade the quality. You know, like right now, these if I go to my inventory, these are green. They're common plus 0 out of 3, so you can bump it up to a common +1, +2, or +3. Then with unique items, you can upgrade it to a fine, which would be blue. I think exceptional is purple. And that's kind of how
Beautiful view.
scaling your gear works in this game.
Real long way down too.
So this is a really good example of the game's just good looking. Don't have the fanciest computer, so these graphics are turned down pretty low. But even still, the game doesn't look bad at all. Remember the first time I played, let me see if I can get him to do it. I jumped up here,
They'll overwhelm you if you're not careful.
and oh, almost. The shaman knocked me down into the water way far below. It was like, you know, not something super exciting, but kind of a cinematic, fun fight first way to start the game. I enjoyed it. There, you know, something very much like that. Except they were doing it to me, so I just turned the table around. There's these X's that I was talking about that show you when an enemy is lootable. So we know we can pick up stuff from them before we move on.
This is the Hangen's place, or was. It's the Zarup's now. Quiet as the depths.
Step on this guy. I don't know how they didn't hear us open the door, but whatever. Even the stealth mechanics in this game are incredibly accurate. Got our level up. Look at our abilities. Get our passives and let's go. I wanted that one, but I guess we don't get it until level 5. We'll do 20% maximum. If that sounds good. Always going to be useful.
I'm no art critic. Looks like, you'd know better than me.
Again, I forgot my ability point. Read her diary because we're nosy.
Well,
Yeah, because I've played, I know. Where is it? Over here, we can actually find the Zarep that she's been kind of interacting with. He is friendly.
what's that Zarep doing out here all by himself?
You try and talk to him, he speaks in a different language. I don't know if this comes up later in the game. It hasn't in my main playthrough yet, but that's not to say that it won't. Then we'll move up and continue with our main quest. It's a quick little side quest to show. You'll run into these pretty naturally as you're playing. You usually don't have to go out of your way to find them. They give you some decent rewards. I guess it's worth mentioning now that the game isn't open world. If you open your map, say that we're in Dawn Shore, that's this zone. And so it's kind of played out in multiple smaller zones that are, I mean, the zones are open, but you're moving from zone to zone rather than one massive open world. Which I don't mind. It makes them able to flesh out smaller zones a little bit more.
Hey, over here!
Even Parkrun and walls can't stand against this place. Pargrunan built these walls and much of Paradis centuries ago.
I don't really
Much of
feel
their
like
work
fighting
still
these guys, so we're just gonna run past.
Here we go!
We can take that camp back over if we want to, get some good loot, but just for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna run past it. And at the mouth of this cave, our quest is we're given a little sneak preview into the types of things that we're going to be fighting. There's going to be a lot of bears. These aren't too challenging for us. Except when I use all my stamina, I can't dodge. I think I should have already... There's the fast travel beacon unlocked.
A rot seeps through here. Who poisons us? We cannot see.
Odd. Didn't used to be this overgrown.
Here's where
I
we
can take care of
use
that
our
if you...
companion ability. Like I was saying, they're able to interact with the environment in ways like that. Get you through these places.
I got a sad feeling.
Guys. out.
It's almost like the brambles are trying to crush that house.
Plenty of loot lying around if you're willing to look for it. It's pretty easy. Like, there's a very clear path. You decide you just want to play the game, not get any extra loot. But if you're one of the people that likes to explore a little bit, the game does a good job of rewarding you for it. Yeah, there's another thing introduced is these throwables. So you'll find these. Some of them do ice, some of them do fire, some of them do electricity. Just another little extra thing you can add to your arsenal if like one monster has a particular elemental weakness. Or if you don't have a fire spell or a companion who can burn things, and you find some brambles like that, you can use throwables to burn them any number of different ways. Those can be used.
Here it comes.
I should have snuck up on him. Could have killed him way faster, but oh well. So here we're outside of combat and eat a little bit of food.
It breathes. It is close.
Yeah. That's the claviger. What happened?
Okay, here's the guy we were looking for.
Blind, we're being hunted. Get rid of the band, we'll talk after.
You're mine now.
Another boss enemy in this game. I guess I was wrong about the way that food interacts. Because we're slowly regenerating health with our food buff. So it's just much quicker if you're outside of combat. Potion. You can stack up that stun heal really fast once you start putting together some abilities. Almost got it. Those golden circles there, those are critical hits, so that's affected by some of your stats. And I think possibly, yeah, definitely the weapon you're using also, because I know daggers have a higher critical hit rate. So there's what I was talking about when I was talking about unique items. So those are these yellow color, and then those give you extra effects as like bonuses when you're using them, and then you can upgrade those past just the 1, 2, and 3 up into the next quality level.
Bloodwing's toy soldiers. I never even learned their name.
A name? Not that it would have... I wouldn't have... Oh, in that... Keep it close until... Aren't you going to introduce... Or did he now?
A little fat. Happy to.
I'm charmed. It was the bear that killed him, of course. I don't appreciate extortion. We heard alarming... The changes in the ecos. We tracked the corruption. Did you? The situation is...
We are here. We have waited for you.
What's the matter? But you... The Emperor... You know some...
Right behind.
Just...
Take it.
Here we're about to get the second of our godlike abilities.
It is you. Come closer. We feared you were but a dream. We were... And our memories are fractured. A rot eats at the foundation. Yes, it is an... We feel if an animal sickens up, let it find what hurt you. The rot, but... A favor we time.
You alright?
What? You must... Inquisitor Liu... Not that she... Your interest, for while you and I stay out of the... We'll talk more at the embassy.
Just watch your step.
This ability, it will heal you and your allies and revive them if they're downed. You can use it in the middle of combat, so it's just a nice little bonus extra
Whatever the
heal that we
Inquisitor
can get.
She can't be worse than that bear, can she? You are full of surprises, envoy. I'd heard god knights have strange powers, but I've never known one to heal an entire grove. Guess your emperor really did seem the right person for the job, huh? Still,
The path to Parodies is a tad overgrown, but I can walk.
And I'm gonna go ahead and set up camp here. I can show you guys the upgrade menu. So when you set up a party camp, it switches and becomes nighttime. You can enchanting station. I don't have any of the weapons, but this kind of explains it. You have a couple different options of ways that you can enhance the enchantment on your unique weapons. There's a little more build variety options there. You can come to the workbench. Let's see. So for example, our spear, we can upgrade to a common quality +1, and it'll do additional damage. You can do the same thing with armor. You get more flat damage reduction. You also have a stash that you can store things, a outfit section where you
Gilgard
can
doesn't
change
seem
the
like the kind of man
outfits.
you'd send to the frontier, does he?
And then you also
You
can
seem
talk
much
to your
better suited to
companions, get like a just some dialogue, kind of learn more background about them. They'll might give you some quests that have to do with them, and then you can also do the totem
I haven't seen
shrine.
this much excitement in a while.
I haven't
Perhaps
discovered
I've
any
got
of
you to
these,
thank
but it
for
says
bringing
that
it
they'll
with
do
you,
some
envoy.
powerful enhancements to your character. Not sure exactly what those quite do yet, so I apologize for not knowing that. And like this quest here, he wants us to upgrade our armor.
After your voyage, it must be nice to spend the night on dry
which
land.
is
Personally, I've
this
always
one.
found
upgrade our armor. And yeah, there's the maximum. that we can go up to. Perb.
Nice work. That'll help against... You know, for most people. But, according to Steve... Tall? I guess I... But, what? Oh, I don't know. Being... I thought that's... Now the refuge... What? Exact. We're talking people, but... Someone... I get the... it's good. It's the gate. Most... Then... With... There. It also... The living... But... That's for a lot of... For... It was... Used... That's what some... Ilgard's new embassy. But I... They say what's stop, and then so. I guess I'll be here if you need me.
Now we can go turn in our side quests. Fast travel back here. Guess I should mention companion ability points too. You can kind of spec them, like if we take that's a bad example. This ability that he already knows, you can further enhance it with different effects, or we can have a new ability, a new passive, and then you can spend additional points into those to give them more effects as well.
And what would I know? All right. Have you ever felt like you... That's a stupid... An anime... I thought if I... And then I... But what do I do about it? I can't go back. Are you serious? I don't call... If you're positive, I'll go. Oh, I forgot. I didn't think...
Here we have an example of the ring. You have a left and a right ring. This one gives you the effect that critical hits deal bonus damage. So you can add that. And those are additional bonuses, more build variety for your characters. So they're fun. And I think I'm going to call it a video there, guys. I keep playing further. This game's a blast. It's not the best game that I've ever played, so if you're expecting this to be some like groundbreaking, incredible game, it's not. Really fun to play. You know, if you've got that Elder Scrolls itch waiting for Elder Scrolls 6, it'll scratch it. It's not exactly like it. It's missing a lot of the interactivity that makes an Elder Scrolls game Elder Scrolls. You know, like you can't just go into a town and start attacking people. If you find items, let me see if I can find a good example of this. Any items laying around don't belong to anybody, so you can take them. Like sometimes the NPCs will say things, but you won't. There's no crime system, so it won't count it as stealing. Like freedom like that you would expect from an Elder Scrolls game. Stuff like that, it makes it apparent that this isn't an Elder Scrolls game. It's something different. Combat's fun. It's a blast. It's a little on the easier side, so if you're looking for a super challenging game, this isn't really it. Story seems pretty basic. I thought the godlike, without knowing what god chose you, kind of made a major character special, but also there's other special characters in the game. You'll run into other godlikes in the game, but also kind of this unique twist that you're not sure which god it was that chose you. So I thought that was a cool decision. I love the magic system. The magic system's a blast. It feels really powerful, really strong. And it feels like there's a decent variety of spells. You're not going to be finding a whole bunch of new like weapons and armor super frequently. So if you're like, you know, coming from Diablo, where you're constantly finding new weapons and slightly upgraded versions of your armor, then this isn't going to scratch that loot monster itch if you just, you know, Borderlands, Diablo, Neo style of tons and tons of loot. But it's still, if you have Game Pass especially, definitely pick it. Definitely, you know, give it a download, give it a try. Spending $70 on it. Yeah, I mean, I probably would, but I'm a massive first-person RPG fan. There's not a whole lot of first-person RPGs. If you're a fan of that genre, it's a solid game. I definitely recommend it. But thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought. This was very different than what I usually do on the channel. So, you know, give me some feedback. Let me know if you want to see more of it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time.